feels great being back in person. You know, our staff and players did a great job, you know, working virtually through the spring. I think we definitely made the most of that, but ultimately the beauty of being on a team is interacting with your teammates and coaches and being together. There's been a lot that we just haven't been able to get to. You know, we haven't been able to get on the field with each other. Went over last week and did a mock practice just to physically go out in the field and stand where we would be when they're stretched, to go where we'll be when it's individual or 7-on-7 or team. We had to make sure we made time when we got back for these bonus weeks to get ahead together.
NFL coaches and players are creatures of habit, from the dog days of summer through the marathon known as the regular season. This year, the training camp routine will be a bit different, as the Giants are taking advantage of spacious MetLife Stadium. With a new location comes changes across the board, from how players interact in the locker room and during meetings to simply enjoying a meal. The game of football is also about adjustments and adapting to different environments. In 2020, that applies to things well beyond X's and O's.
The players are going to go through this tent right here, and they're going to pick up their bio-tracking devices. So basically just keep you 6 feet apart. It's going to record the data and make sure that we can study it, that if we get any alerts on guys bunching together, we can address that and make sure we stay up. We have a temperature gauge right here. Guys walk on by, make sure that we're all clear. We fill out the survey in the morning, confirming we don't have any symptoms, we haven't traveled, you know, certain areas within the last couple weeks. Check all those boxes, come on by, get your temperature, and then move on about. So from here, we just cross from Lot A, walk towards the stadium right here, and there's the entrance right there to the tent. All right, and that tunnel takes us directly into the stadium, leading right out into the players' locker room. As the players come in, we have multiple locker rooms set up for social distancing. So we're actually using our main game day locker room and one of the alternate visitors lockers. So we'll start visitors locker room A right now. You guys come on in. So we're using every space we have to make sure we give everybody the right amount of distance, but also give some kind of sense of normalcy. So right here is actually normally the visiting team's coaching staff. As you see in here, we've separated this up. It's a lot of our training staff in here, some of the strength coaches. We've spaced it out. We've actually canceled out multiple lockers in the middle to make sure that nobody crosses over. So we have the locker room set up right now for 90. We're allowed to keep 90 on the roster through August 16th. And if you look around, we've segmented in this locker rooms a lot of the new guys, rookies and first-year players. We've spaced it out again. As you see on the side, we've canceled out multiple lockers in between. So some guys get lucky, kind of get more of their extended space with a middle locker. You look over here, we've got 3 guys in this row, but again, there's 2 empty lockers in between them to make sure everybody has the proper spacing right there. You know, as we cut through here, this section actually connects the 2 locker rooms. This is our main training room right here. We've got the hot tubs to warm the guys up, some cold tub therapy as well. Biggest thing we have to do with this, you see no more than 6 people allowed at a time. Our guys have to be very efficient in terms of making sure they get on through there. Here's our main traditional game day locker room. You can see we've set it up much like the other one on the sides, where we've put empty lockers and we've put drapes over it right here with barrier, so you can't even use this to stick clothes in. This is going to prevent guys from crossing over and pushing towards each other right there. We've got the extra breakout lockers right here for the guys in the middle, and as you can see, you know, everything's really back to back looking away, giving guys the proper spacing to make sure we're good in here. I'll take you on back through here to coach's locker room. And we've got coaches working all over. Here's Amos Jones right here. He's working on some special projects for us. Here's the coach's locker room right here. All right, this actually connects to the other smaller locker room we were just in a more of a U shape. But again, players are coached, you see everybody spaced out. Usually come around here, you know, just closing off every other sink to make sure you don't get guys right next to each other. You know, if you walk in here to the showers, you know, we've been able to actually keep all of our showers intact and not lose the numbers, you know, by supplying them with the shower curtain in between to minimize the breathing back and forth. We've taken the coaches club and we've converted this into our offense and defensive unit rooms, our squad meeting room, as well as our position meeting rooms around the sides. All right, we got the defense meeting right now, wrapping some stuff up. You're good, Pat, keep going, dude. You take a peek at our guys right here. And again, these are the defensive coaches going through the install together before we get the players in here, making sure all clear, but it gives you a shot of how the players are gonna be. You can see all the table setups right here, all right, in a staggered position to make sure we've got the 6 feet separation, you know, laterally, and also some vertical separation to make sure we can maximize the space in here. So we're equipped in here for 90 players right now. They've done a terrific job with it. One thing you can notice right here as you look on the ground, we've got the red dots underneath the chairs. This is for our players, just to have a visual of making sure that chair stays directly over that red dot so we're spaced out. So you get out, you move a chair, you start fidgeting around, bumps the table a little bit, get that thing back to center and make sure we're good, okay? Again, you see the coaches set up this, the defensive backs coaches in the back of the meeting room right here. All right, gives them a chance to work right here in the space. Good shot right here. You can take a peek in here at the offensive line room. You know, we try and give the big guys, obviously, everyone needs space. We try and give them the big tables. You know, the vets get in here early. You can see some of the names. Coach Colombo is assigned tables to right now, making sure they get on in here, okay? Now you come around right here, and on game day, there's a direct access right there to walk out the club and to the field. This will be the offensive side, and you see the piping and the draping right here to separate it. So when we get into squad meetings, we can open this up and let everyone flow across and walk. When they break into unit meetings, we'll close this off to give a little more separation between the offense and the defense. There's Coach Blick right there in the back working at his home station there. Again, this is where the tight ends will meet. Freddie's desk will be right on that side there, so those guys will be able to work close to each other, all right, and talk and communicate as we get set for practice and meetings. Because we want consistent flow that don't interfere with each other, it's ramps down and stairs out. So we've got the arrows for the players to follow. They know every time they're leaving, they're following the arrows up the stairs. Coming in on either side, we've got the ramps that lead into their meeting space. Well, first off, I love the setup we have here right now at the stadium. You know, just the ability to have everybody together, that was the biggest thing for us. We did a good job in the virtual world, but we want to be together physically. And the emphasis came up on that. Our facility directors, security directors, medical team, everyone put their heads together. A lot of work went in this 24/7, really in the last month or so, and they were able to pull it off. You know, there's a lot of protocols in place. We have to be diligent in following them. We have to be diligent as coaches in enforcing them to make sure that everybody stays safe and we can work together effectively. But it's been a great transition so far. I'm excited to get the players in here. So back here we get the D-line, the defensive staff, as well as a coaching staff meeting room. So we can have our staff meetings in the big auditorium and space out. Sometimes we need a little bit more setup in here. This would be the defensive staff as well as the staff in total, where I would sit here. We've got the screen that way. All the coaches are on break-off chairs and tables. Coach Spence, Coach Trier, Coach Graham's in the corner over there. They've got their setups as well. So this is their everyday setup as well as our staff room. All right, so in here is the offensive staff room. So we'll be real quick in here. We got guys working. We'll be respectful for their time. Again, as you take a peek, here's the offensive staff right there. There's Coach Garrett in there. All right, you got Coach Shaplinski over here in the quarterback room. All right, so they got space in here for the offensive coaches to work. And you kind of make your way back here. We've transformed everything. So this is the daycare on game day. We've transformed in our offensive coaches staff room. You see here, normally the cubbies right here for the kids. You got Coach Dooley right here at his setup. So again, this is our quarterback meeting room right here. Okay, you can see in terms of the space we have right here. Jerry right there, he can work right there as far as coaching the quarterbacks. There's our coaching podium as well, so he'll swing on over there so we can teach for him. We got the screen in front right here. All right, and you see how we've spaced out the guys right here within the room to make sure we can use the most of our space. Thanks, Jerry. The escalators for us, just good for open air travel right here. All right, we can go up. The only thing about it is you got two sets of these, so these guys got to make sure they account for their travel time going up and down in between meetings. We'll have all of our meals on the United Rentals Club. All right, so our players come on up here. You know, there's plenty of the hand sanitizing stations everywhere you turn, so we're encouraging our guys, every time they pass one, just go ahead and get some on your hands right there, make sure we stay safe. You can see just today's menu gives you guys an idea of what they're going through. We're using a grab and go format, all right, to make sure we just move on through and keep everything separate from each other. So guys can obviously take more than one if they're, you know, hungry based on their specific diet, but we want to make sure they can get it and keep flowing. We've got the yellow lines on the ground to make sure guys know the flow of it to keep moving, okay, but also not crowd each other. What we really wanted to work to set up was the feeling of normal. We want our guys to feel like they're in a normal cafeteria. So instead of getting it, sitting at a table like the new kid at school all alone, we want to set up these things in pods so that they feel like they're with each other. So we've got the chairs facing in. Here's three guys like they're looking at each other at a table. If you come over here, we've got five. All right, so as the guys come in, we've got the red dots on the floor. They know where the chair belongs. As they sit on down, they're facing their teammates. So we've just really extended the table size that they can come up here and have some fellowship have some good conversation. And one of the biggest parts of training camp, guys, is the meals, just kind of letting down for a second, laughing, cutting up, getting to know your teammates, getting to interact with your coaches outside of blowing a whistle on the field. So we set up our weight room outside. You know, it gives our guys that open air. We've transported a lot of the equipment from Quest, as well as we ordered some new racks over here so Coach Fitzgerald can go ahead and get all the, you know, core lifts and Olympic lifts done. Players come in here, everybody's social distance. They're 6 feet apart. You know, here we are outside in the concourse. This is normally the family section for the family tent after the games. So it's normally tables with families meeting and having some food. Now we turn it into the team weight room right here. We've had to be very creative with our space of how we can maximize everything. But it's got a good flow. It's not far from the locker room. They just walk out, loop on through. We can get everybody in and out for a single workout in 45 minutes. Gives us time to clean it afterwards and get the next group in, you know, and stay on this consistent schedule. Every day it's come to work, do your job. We're gonna work hard. And the most important thing coming out of training camp, all right, is evaluating our team. That's giving everybody a chance to compete, making sure we teach them effectively so we see how people can play fast when they know what to do.
The first step of kicking off camp is welcoming back the players. With the finishing touches being put in place, now it's about the team meeting the coach's standards on the field.
Yes, sir. Ready. It's go time now. Jeez, it feels good to be back. It feels good.
Let's go, baby. It feels so good to be out here. Back. Yes, sir.
They were trying to make somebody fold. Wasn't gonna be me. They were trying to make us fold right there. Straight out the gate.